Welcome to Arts News. I'm Jimmy Ray here with you every Friday morning to talk about people, places, and things to do in the arts world of the Ozarks. This week, a best-selling author comes to town with her new horror novel. And we have a couple of grad students working on a feature film. They'll tell us more about that. And a remembrance of the great Meredith Sisko. That and more coming up next here on Arts News. Let's go! Support for Arts News today is provided by Dressler Peters Business Law Firm, committed to promoting music and the arts in the Ozarks by supporting local public radio, including KSMU's weekly arts newsletter, The Green Room. Information at DresslerPeters.com. And support is also provided by Pickwick Underground Framing, offering custom picture framing and installation. Open weekdays 10 to 5:30 and Saturdays by appointment at 611 South Pickwick Avenue. Information at PickwickUndergroundFraming.com. I'm Jimmy Ray. Welcome to Arts News and a special guest coming to town, best-selling author C.J. Lead with her new supernatural horror novel, Headlights. It's coming out on June 9th, and she's going to be meeting with podcaster Anna Dupree over at 4x4 Brewing Company on Thursday, June 11th. You're joining me now via phone. C.J. Lead, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming to town, and congrats on the new novel, Headlights. Obviously, we don't want spoilers, but just give our folks a little bit of a taste of what they can expect from this new book of yours.
People are waking up on the highway in Colorado with no memory of how they got there, many miles from where they started, and naked except for the skin of someone they've allegedly never met hanging over their shoulders and a human hair tied around their tongues. And the very tortured special agent who had been assigned to the case has to now come back to Denver, a place he sort of never wanted to return to, and face a lot about his own past in order to solve the case.
Wow, interesting. That's quite the pitch there. Whenever you're coming up with these ideas, I always love to talk to authors about their process because there's just so many different ways that people go about it. And especially nowadays, I mean, even just talking about the actual writing process, whether it's pen to paper, computers, voice to text, all that. But when it comes to a story like this, is this something that just brews in your mind and grows there, or is it something that evolves as the words come out?
I would say it's all of the above. And for me, it's all a very hybrid process. So that initial image came to me very quickly, and I always knew it was going to be, from like moment one, I thought, okay, this is a supernatural detective story or supernatural thriller. I knew it was going to be very Colorado focused and have a lot to do with Stephen King's The Shining. But in terms of the sort of nitty gritty of it, I mean, books evolve. And I worked on this for almost, I don't know if it was 4.5 or 5 years altogether. And
Wow.
a lot went into this book and these characters.
So whenever you say it took you 4 or 5 years, is that the kind of thing to where you get a little nugget of it and you get going on it and then it just sits till something else comes, or you're constantly writing, revising, reading, and getting this tweaked where it needs to be, or is there large absences where you don't write or think about it?
Both, but really for me, sometimes I'll write a higher draft and then think, it's not there yet, and I'll let it sit for a couple of months and then I'll come back to it, and oftentimes I will just completely start over from the beginning, which some people are like, are you insane? But I just think when it feels right, and to me there's we all, as horror authors, we all want to put out a book a year and give our readers something consistently, but I really feel strongly that it's not worth it if it's not, a book worthy of my readers. So That's what's more important.
Interesting, yeah. Is that a solo decision making, or do you have team members, editors, or publishers that are involved in those types of decisions, or is this all on you?
They're definitely involved, but they're typically like, no, it's good. Like, let's move forward. And I'm like, no, it's not there yet. They want to put out good work too, but I think it's just artists are so crazy. Speaking for myself.
Well, in this horror genre, is this something that you've always been a part of in your writing? You've been in kind of this supernatural and horror genre, or have you done other endeavors?
I thought when I was starting out that I always thought I was going to do genre fiction, and I thought I was going to do sci-fi or fantasy or something, or what my very literary writing program was calling magical realism, so they didn't have to call it quite a genre. But I don't know, I was handing in stories, and a professor of mine in grad school was like, I think these are horror stories, and I said, no, that's not possible, I don't read that stuff. And he said, maybe you should. And I started, and I thought, oh, okay, this is exactly what I want to do.
Where did you start? Whenever he said that to you and he said, maybe you should start reading, what was the go-to?
Well, I had to start with Stephen King. So I did Shining and Dr. Sleep and Misery. And to this day, those are 3 of my favorites of his. I mean, they're just like classics.
Yeah.
It was magical because horror is a genre that really allows you to like sit with fear and say, how can we understand it better? And how can we understand death and grief and this sort of very huge and ever-present situation of our mortality that we don't quite understand? How do we get to feeling better about it all? And I think that's what horror does so beautifully.
Yeah, that fear of the end or death is kind of that common denominator for humanity, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And it's something that we don't like to look at, understandably, because we want to just live. But I think there's a lot to be gained from looking at it, and I'm somebody who can't seem to look away from it. So maybe my job as a horror writer is just to kind of sit and stare into the dark and see if there's any bit of light I can sort of bring back for everyone else and offer up.
Indeed. That's CJ Lead here on Arts News KSMU, talking about her writing, and in particular the new novel coming out on June 9th. It's entitled Headlights, and CJ will be in town here in Springfield at 4x4 Brewing over on Galloway Street, 2811 East Galloway, in partnership with the Springfield Greene County Library. That's going to be on Thursday, June 11th at 7 p.m. in conversation with podcaster and horror superfan Anna Dupree. And CJ, I wanted to ask, you mentioned grad school, you mentioned writing through there, but let's go even farther back on your writing. Where did the writing start for you? Where did you discover you liked to do it? How did it come about? And what were some of those early works when you discovered that you really enjoyed doing this?
I stumbled into it very late. I, in undergrad, as everyone does, did medieval studies and thought I was going to be a career historian. And my last semester, I ended up taking a writing class. And when I graduated, I found out my professor had sent some of my pages to his editor and agent, and they both reached out and were interested. And I had never really written anything. And I wrote a book very quickly. It was terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. And I just loved the process though of writing it. And I kept thinking about it, and time went on, and I thought, man, I just loved that time in which I was writing that very bad book. And so I thought, maybe this is what I want to do with my life. And I've gotten lucky that it took many years. It took like 7 years of sending books out, and you don't need a grad degree to be a writer, or any degree to be a writer. But I did go back. It took me 3 times of applying before I got in anywhere. And it was like this lengthy process that ended up resulting in just the coolest kind of things that could have happened eventually. So I feel very lucky. But that initial book I'd written ended up being my second book out.
Okay. How many have you done total now with Headlights?
Headlights will be my third. And it feels like a really cool thing to get to celebrate. They're all very different, but they're all very Americana. I live on the road and I love America. And there's also a lot to celebrate. And so I try to kind of include all of that in my books. And they're all very regionally specific. And I don't know, maybe I've got a Missouri book in me one day.
Maybe so. And I was going to ask where you were from. Maybe elaborate more. Living on the road, is this like a true blue kind of like van lifestyle you got going on, or when living on the road, what's that mean, and where did you come from growing up?
I was born in California, but I grew up in Texas. My family are like, many generational Texans. And I moved to the Northeast in high school, Massachusetts, and then I finished high school in New York City. I stayed in New York City for like 10 years, and then I moved to LA, and I was there for 6 years, and then the fires happened, and I had lived on the road for a year before in my early 20s when I was applying to grad school, and I lived out of a 2-seater Miata, a backpack with 2 outfits, and had like a tent. And it was amazing. I got to know this country in a way that I never had before. I didn't grow up road tripping. My family wasn't really into that. So I just fell in love with the motels and the dive bars and the highways and the back roads and our parks. And I love weird roadside attractions. And so I kind of hit all the states. And then after the fires came in California, we were displaced, and I thought, I think the road is calling again. And now it's been like 15 months. We've done like 40,000 miles, and we keep kind of bopping around and staying in different places where friends and family are, but not in a van. We sort of go and park somewhere and rent a place or stay with someone. And we've got dogs. It's like a whole thing.
Sounds fun. Traveling's one of those things a lot of people don't ever get to experience. I had a good brief stint of it after high school for a couple years, and it opens your whole world and your whole mind and your whole heart up. So this is CJ Lee that we're talking with, folks, here on Arts News, KSMU, best-selling author, and a new book out on June 9th. It's called Headlights, in the supernatural horror novel realm, and her third book, and she'll be passing through Springfield. And that event is happening at 4x4 Brewing Company at 2811 East Galloway. This is in partnership with the Springfield Greene County Library. It'll be a conversation with podcaster Anna Dupree on Thursday, June 11th at 7 p.m. And what can folks expect there? You and Anna are going to dive deep into the horror genre and talk more about the book?
Yes, and I should just say Springfield Greene County Library have been doing such incredible things, not just for horror, but certainly for horror, but for, all book lovers. They're amazing, and it's one of the most beautiful libraries I've ever been to, ever. And Anna has become a great friend of mine through this whole horror community, and actually ended up being an authenticity reader on Headlights because it's got some forensic background in her work history, which is pretty fascinating. So we're going to have a great time. It's kind of Western themed, this tour. We wanted to have these events at breweries and cocktail bars to sort of like make it a bit more of a party. And there's a big dive bar kind of element in my book. So I'm so excited to go to 4x4 and check it out. We're going to have some good outfits. We're going to have a great time. And I know Springfield Greene always puts on the best programming. So I'm I'm really looking forward to it. And we may have some cool little giveaway items for folks too.
Very good. Very good. CJ Lead, author of the new horror novel Headlights, coming to town on June 11th. It's a Thursday night at 4x4 Brewing on Galloway. Starts at 7 p.m. with podcaster Anna Dupree. And is there a website or socials folks should be checking out to keep up with you, CJ?
Yes, mostly Instagram is what I use, but I'm on Blue Sky and Threads too. And my handle is Siege the Moment, CEEJ. And Macmillan website has my full tour info, but I'm so excited to stop by Springfield and get to meet everyone there. It's going to be a great time.
Excellent. Travel safe. We'll see you there Thursday, June 11th at 4x4 Brewing. It's CJ Lead. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. Welcome. The Springfield Art Museum has announced the release of a new publication exploring the institution's nearly century-long history. A History of the Springfield Art Museum, written by Curator of Art Sarah Burr. The book traces the museum's development from its founding in 1926 through its role today as a major cultural institution in Southwest Missouri. The book arrives as the museum approaches its 100th anniversary in 2028 and includes historical research, archival photographs, and essays from several contributors connected to the museum and local arts community. Burr says the project began in 2018 as an effort to create a single source documenting the museum's history and the civic leaders who helped shape it, particularly founder Deborah D. Weisel. The publication also features essays by Ozarks Alive writer Caitlin McConnell, former museum educator and New Moon Studios owner Kate Beard, and Springfield Art Museum director Nick Nelson. Nelson said the book not only reflects the museum's first century, but also helps prepare the institution for the future. A History of the Springfield Art Museum retails for $29.95 and is available directly through the museum. The public is also invited to a panel discussion and book signing with the contributors. That's going to be later this year, August 29th at 3:30 p.m. at the Library Center's Hatch Auditorium. An exciting new book, A History of the Springfield Art Museum. And some good news out of Nixa. Dr. Allison Fleetwood, director of the Nixa High School Theater Program and head of operations at the Aetos Center for the Performing Arts, has received an honorable mention in the 2026 Excellence in Theater Education Award. The national award recognizes K-12 theater educators across the United States who have made a significant impact on students' lives and demonstrated exceptional leadership in theater education. According to the organizers, thousands of nominations were reviewed through several rounds of judging before finalists were selected by a panel that included representatives from the American Theater Wing, the Broadway League, Carnegie Mellon University, and other theater industry leaders. As part of the recognition, Fleetwood and Nixa Public Schools will be featured in the official Tony Awards playbill and on TonyAwards.com ahead of this year's Tony Awards ceremony on June 7th. A big congratulations to Dr. Allison Fleetwood and the Nixa Public Schools. And support for Arts News today is provided by the Moxie Cinema, currently presenting Silent Friend, Magic Hour, Blue Heron, and I Love Boosters. Showtimes and ticket information at moxiecinema.com. And new music out from Madison Gregory, a single called Old Happy, an indie pop track exploring the pressure of modern ambition and the idea that happiness has to be earned through success, income, and status. The song blends atmospheric textures with polished pop production while examining why so many people feel stuck chasing an image of fulfillment that never quite arrives. Gregory describes the track as an invitation to redefine happiness on personal terms rather than through outside expectations. Inspired by artists like the 1975 and Alanis Morissette, the Springfield-based songwriter combines reflective lyrics with cinematic production and a strong pop sensibility. Old Happy is part of Gregory's larger independent project called Season 1, which centers on themes of reinvention, resilience, and new discovery during early adulthood. That comes out in July. This single is available now on streaming platforms. More information can be found through Madison Gregory's social media channels or her website, MadisonGregory.com. And now here it is, the new single from Madison Gregory entitled Old Happy, right here on KSMU Arts News. was Madison Gregory and her new single, Old Happy, off the upcoming record that you can expect in July. We'll have her in possibly to talk more about that record, maybe hear some more music. Till then, you can catch her website, MadisonGregory.com. Of course, social media as well, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and on Spotify, of course. I'm Jimmy Ray. Welcome to Arts News here on KSMU. And we've been hearing a lot about local film, and that trend continues here with a couple creators, filmmakers, Tristan Upp and Sam McPherson. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Going?
Yeah. So, Mr. Mystery, what can you tell our folks without giving too many spoilers away here? Tristan, writer, director, what's it all about?
Yeah, so Mr. Mystery is our first feature film. It's a comedy party mystery movie is how we've been selling it. So it's about a college couple going into their last year of college. They get wrapped up into a party throwing a fiasco that's going on. Then they are kind of forced to hire a private investigator named Mr. Mystery to evade expulsion. And Mr. Mystery just kind of adds fuel to the fire. And yeah, it gets very wacky, very silly. But yeah, we're filming right here in Springfield, mostly on campus and surrounding area.
Very good. Yeah. And so you guys are in the filmmaking program. Tell us about that.
Yes, we are in the MFA in Dramatic Writing program.
Okay, there we go.
It's about, I think, 6 years old now. I think it started right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it's a terminal degree. And
What does that mean?
so it's the highest level you can go within screenwriting. So it's like equivalent to a PhD.
Oh, wow. Gotcha.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
But it's a
track.
lot of like screenwriting and playwriting. But the thing that's unique about our program is that we get the opportunity to produce our work like we're doing now with Mr. Mystery.
I did the electronic arts program.
Yes,
and
yeah.
a lot of collaborations going on in there, but this seems like an even more in-depth kind of
Yeah.
creative endeavor when it comes to film.
Definitely. I also graduated from the electronic arts
Oh,
program
nice.
for undergrad. Yeah, I did audio studies and I did a short film for my electronic arts capstone, and that was kind of my first breath into filmmaking. And yeah, I started doing that last year of school. I did the accelerated master's program and got my foot in the door. And yeah, since doing the master's program this past year, we did 2 more short films. We actually just had one of them premiere last night. But yeah, it's an awesome opportunity to really, if you have the passion to make stuff, the program and our experience really matches that drive with opportunity.
Yeah, really getting in there and actually making something,
Yeah.
because that's really the only way you can become an artist is continue to make, and
Absolutely.
it's going to get better and different each time. Very cool. Talking with a couple of filmmakers here, Tristan Upp and Sam McPherson, talking about Mr. Mystery, feature film that they are coming out with, and this is kind of the ramping up to it, right? Like the idea is you got to raise funds, you got to get crews together, the story is written, but there's a lot that goes into this. Sam, so your role as associate producer, what do you do exactly, and how do you keep the train on the tracks?
So I am actually just one of, I think, how many producers do we have on this?
Like 4 total?
Yeah, and they're all students of MSU. So my role, I'm actually doing a lot of the like legal papers. So like I get to type up the cool NDAs and everything.
Nice.
So I don't really handle as much of the fundraising side, but I also reach out to a lot of media outlets like you guys.
Yeah.
Especially local. That's kind of what our goal was, to get our voice on local media.
Yeah, sure.
And so that's kind of been my role, is kind of serving as that bridge
Yeah.
between the film and places that can spread the word.
Sure. And it takes a lot of people to make a film. Anybody who's watched the credits at the end of a film can understand how many people it actually take. So what's it look like, Tristan, to actually team up and make a feature? And folks, you've mentioned some short films, but a feature is a full-length film, right?
Correct. Yeah. Oh, it takes a village for sure. I mean, especially this early on, that's kind of what we're slowly starting to realize. We've already expanded our ranks quite a bit, jumping into the feature already. But even just this early on, we're realizing just how many people we're going to need to keep adding to our ranks. And that's a huge part of pre-production, is just calling on all types of favors, locations, casting, everything that needs to happen. Typically, you want one person delegated to a specific thing. So it's not just one person taking on every little role, but there's a lot of that going on as well. A lot of people doing a lot of things.
So you wrote it and you're directing it.
Correct.
Does the buck stop with you as the director, or everybody can come to you if they have the questions?
Yeah, typically, yeah. So, yeah, that's how it's been so far, and how I imagine it'll continue to be. But I try to be very flexible because I recognize that it's 100% a collaborative medium, and if you can work with people that you know and that you trust, it makes it a lot easier to be collaborative and say, "Oh, I don't have something super specific in mind for this shot. What do you have?" And then if that person has something in mind, it's usually stronger than, my second best idea. So it's important to be open and have an attitude of flexibility with all of it.
And so when do we hope that this is going to start shooting? When do y'all hope that it's going to be out? Sam, what's the schedule look like, you think?
So we are still in the phase of locking down dates, but we're thinking the first couple weeks of August, right before school starts. And the film actually takes place at the beginning of a college semester. So it'll kind of be in line with that.
Yeah.
So I think that the overall atmosphere will just be perfect for it. And kind of going back to It Takes a Village, even in the initial genesis stages of the project, this script we've been working on in one of our graduate writing classes. Tristan has been working on it, but we all workshop it as a cohort. So we've got to kind of see it come to life and all offer our feedback and advice on it and even read some of the lines. And so to see it from its earliest stages to now when we're in pre-production, it's really fascinating.
Yeah. So when it comes to writing it, Tristan, is this something that where it's just jumping around in your head as a story, or from the get-go you knew it wanted to be a movie, you set right out writing it that way?
That's a good question. Honestly, it all just kind of starts with ideas, whether it's a joke, a phrase, a character. I think for this one, I had the idea for the name Mr. Mystery really early on, and I was like, I'm going to need to write a movie for one of the classes we were doing in our master's program, and I think I'd kind of landed on the title before anything else, honestly. I knew I wanted to do something funny and silly, and Mr. Mystery just fit that, and I was like, all right, what is the character Mr. Mystery? A private investigator, what's he investigating? And then I really wanted to do a party movie as well, and so it just kind of, all these ideas just kind of slowly morphed and came into one.
You kind of distill them down little by little, and on the page, this is out, revisions, writing. Do you let other people jump in there, read it, talk about it, make suggestions too?
Absolutely. Like Sam was saying, I worked on this script for our feature writing class, which is a year-long class. So I've brought in to that class as early as when this was just a log line, when I was deciding between multiple different log lines for what script I was going to write.
What's a log line?
So a log line would be the simplest version of the story, 2 sentences.
Yeah.
What is the story going to be?
Yeah.
And that's what we started with. We started with like 15 log lines, and then we narrowed it down to 10, and we took it to the next step of outlining, and then just from there narrowing it down more and more as we expand it more and more. And I was pretty set on Mr. Mystery from the start, so that made it easier.
Yeah. So logline, I like that, because as a songwriter, I try to do the same thing. A good song should be able to be said in one sentence. What is the song about, just in one sentence? So I'm going to start using that logline.
Yeah.
And that might also be good to point out is, especially with his background in audio, Tristan composes all of the music for his own films.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
So that will be the case for Mr. Mystery as well. And I don't know what you have in mind, but I'm super excited
That's
to see
really
it because
cool,
it's a
man.
wacky film. It's a wacky
Yeah.
script, so the music is going to be awesome.
Yeah, so do you do instruments or electronic compositions? What do you do?
Mostly electronic compositions.
What are you working with, Ableton or something?
Yeah, Logic Pro is
Yeah.
what I tend to use. Yeah, I actually started with music, and that's kind of what initially got me into filmmaking, I guess. I didn't see it as filmmaking at the time, but I used to be in a band with my friend. It was very silly, wacky, similar to my films, called JC and the Penis Band, and we would do shows, and I would just direct all of our music videos. They were just filmed on iPhones or iPads, whatever we got our hands on, old camcorders, and that gave me a lot of production experience. But yeah, now it's kind of come full circle, and I'm able to go back to my days of music and create songs that are specific for an emotion, which I found is very freeing as a musical artist, to just come in at the end and be like, let's make something that fits this vibe.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what all musicians want to do anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like. So
Yeah, the role in music and film is incredible. We have a monthly series with the conductor over at the Symphony Orchestra, and they did a John Williams program. So you really see the connection with his work is obviously famous and intense, but yeah, that emotional control that music can actually take a scene in a certain direction, especially after it's shot and done. How can music exclamate this? How can it really elevate it? So that's very cool. You got all that stuff in your background. Let's talk about fundraising, because this is part of the journey here. A feature film isn't something you just kind of toss together, right?
Absolutely.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of cash.
Right.
So what's the platform you guys are working with? Sam, do you got details on that?
We have a GoFundMe, and I think within like the first 12 hours of launching it, we had already raised like
an 8, I think.
an eighth of our goal. So it was pretty quick. It was very inspiring to see that, and so we all kind of got the impetus to keep going. Obviously, this is a grassroots type situation, and so we're reaching out to local community leaders, to friends and family, beyond just the GoFundMe, to help out in whatever way they can, even if it's just like donating a box of pizza.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sponsorships at every level, is what it's going to take too. So if folks did want to be a part of this, learn more about the project and possibly participate in some of the crowdfunding, where do they need to go?
I would say typically our main kind of information hub is our Instagram page, which is Mr. Mystery Movie. I'm sure if you look up on GoFundMe Mr. Mystery, you'll also find our campaign. You'll see a goofy guy with a mustache and an orange shirt in a video. That's me. And that video will tell you a little bit more about the project, the campaign. Our Instagram will continue posting updates whenever we reach new milestones, whenever we're hosting events for fundraising. But yeah, we're trying to get the funds by however we can. So, our GoFundMe is a great way to donate just directly to the cause. But if you have other ways to contribute, a business, a location we could film at, something you can contribute to the production, whatever, reach out to us at mrmysterymovie@gmail.com. And we want to work with the community. We want to give back and really show our experience in this film with this community, with 417 and Springfield.
Nice. So whenever you guys wrap this thing up, it's a long road ahead. You finally get it out. You get some premieres going. What's next? What's ideal for you guys? Is it Hollywood bound?
I think my goals, my ambitions, I try to keep them as simple as possible. I want to make the highest quality work that I can at the biggest scale that I can. And right now that means making a graduate project that's a feature film. And a couple years ago that seemed impossible. So what comes next, I'm not sure. I would love for it to be Hollywood if that's in my path, but I think no matter what, we're gonna find a way to make projects happen that are the best that we can and the biggest that we can.
Yeah, excellent. Sam, any aspirations?
Everything he just said. I'm actually a writer first and foremost, so this is kind of my first foray into a production, a major production, and so if it goes well, I'll just kind of be like a dandelion in the wind wherever it takes me. But yeah, I think, and you mentioned, this being local, 417 in Springfield. I think that a major goal with this production is to showcase what can be done in Springfield with the resources that we have. Because there are so many, as you know, as the arts reporter, there are so many talented people. And there's just such a rich culture here that's often overlooked. And I know I'm waxing eloquent right now about it, but I genuinely do think that this film is a good opportunity to exhibit what the Ozarks has to offer, at least in the film, on the film side of things.
I have been talking with folks. I did not realize how robust the film community was around here, and advocacy on legislative levels to get incentives for folks to be coming and shooting here, and including the people in this town and in this state, in this county. And so keeping up the good work with Mr. Mystery here. It's Sam McPherson and Tristan Upp. And are you guys from here?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Springfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm from Mountain Grove. It's about an hour east of here, small town. So
absolutely.
Growing up, we used to come here, drive an hour, and it was the big city to me.
Right.
Springfield was the big city. It still kind of is to me, so we'll keep that alive.
All right. Well, good luck. If folks want to know more about Mr. Mystery, jump on board on any type of support that they can, financial or any other ideas or collaborations you might have. You hit them with the Instagram one more time.
Mr. Mystery Movie.
Or the same thing with Gmail as well?
Correct. Yep.
All right. And it's a GoFundMe platform out there if you want to donate directly. And gentlemen, keep me in the loop as this production winds down. I'd love to see where it's premiering when it's done, okay?
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
You betcha.
Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. Springfield drivers and visitors can now make music while traveling Route 66. Visit Springfield recently unveiled a new musical road installation on St. Louis Street near the Queens Gate 66 landmark. As vehicles drive across a specifically engineered rumble strip, the roadway plays the melody of America the Beautiful. According to Visit Springfield, the song was selected as a tribute to Route 66, the American road trip, and the nation's upcoming 250th anniversary. Mark Hequet, the president and CEO of Visit Springfield, said the goal was to create a unique and memorable experience for visitors traveling through the birthplace of Route 66. The project was developed in partnership with Route 66 Musical Roads LLC and the Springfield Public Works Department. The attraction joins a small number of musical roads installed throughout the United States and is designed as an interactive drive-through experience for travelers along Springfield's historic Route 66 corridor. The official opening celebration took place during the Queens Gate 66 event on May 1st, but the rumble strip exists in the road. Anybody, anytime can go there and align their vehicles' tires with this rumble strip and experience this musical road. Organizers say the ideal speed for the musical rumble strip is 30 miles per hour. As I pulled on to St. Louis from Glenstone, taking my son to camp this morning before work, well, I captured it, and here it is for its radio debut, right here on Arts News. And an international group of artists was in Joplin this week to help create what organizers say will become the world's largest outdoor collection of 3D street paintings. The World Street Painting Festival returned along West 7th Street in Joplin as 16 artists from around the globe transform pavement into large-scale optical illusion artwork celebrating the 100th anniversary of Route 66. Artists from the United States, Japan, Italy, Mexico, India, Germany, France, Poland, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the Netherlands participated in this year's event. The immersive murals are inspired by themes connected to the Mother Road, including roadside culture, travel, migration, diners, and open highways. Visitors got to watch the artists work all week long, and the public unveiling will be tomorrow, Saturday, June 6th. Organizers say the finished works are designed to allow visitors to step directly into the art for interactive photos and experiences. The new gallery joins previous installations created during the 2024 and 2025 festivals, helping turn Joplin into a growing destination for public art and Route 66 tourism. More information can be found at worldstreetpainting.com and visitjoplinmo.com. And the Pickwick Street Fair returns to Springfield tomorrow, Saturday, June 6th, at Pickwick and Cherry Street. The event runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and features more than 50 local artists and craftspeople, live music, local businesses, food and drink vendors, as well as family-friendly activities, including a kids zone and face painting. Admission is $5, while children 12 and under get in free. Organizers say the event is designed to celebrate local art, music, and small businesses in the heart of Springfield's Pickwick District. More information about the Pickwick Street Fair can be found on their Facebook page at facebook.com/RoundtreeCorner. Also, pickwickstreetfair417.com. And it's a new month, and that means Springfield's first Friday Art Walk returns to downtown Springfield. That's tonight, June 5th, with a dozen venues featuring local artwork, live music, and community events. Among the highlights this month, the Springfield Regional Arts Council will host its second annual block party at the Creamery Arts Center while opening two new exhibitions. One is Summer in the Ozarks in the main gallery, and the Queer Artist Showcase presented by the Glow Center in the Hall Gallery. Elsewhere downtown, the Downtown Church will feature live jazz music with arts and crafts activities for children, as well as refreshments and tours of the historic church building. Ozarks Farm Stop will also participate in this month's Art Walk with featured artists Christina Corey of T&CB Company. First Friday Art Walk events take place throughout downtown Springfield and are free to attend. More information and a full list of participating venues can be found through the Springfield Regional Arts Council website, which is springfieldarts.org. And a longtime Ozarks house concert tradition returns this weekend as the Rock House Music Festival takes place tomorrow in Reeds Spring. Hosted by Jeanette and Bruce Baer, the festival grew out of a house concert series that dates back to 1990 and has welcomed hundreds of regional and national musicians through the years. And I will attest it's a magical place as I've performed there a handful of times. This year's lineup includes Fritz and Sons, The Creek Rocks, Kristen Boudet, Steve and Addie, Drifter's Mile, and King Size. Baer says the event has intentionally stayed small over the years, now capped at around 100 attendees, creating a laid-back backyard atmosphere centered around live music, barbecue, and community. The Rock House Festival takes place tomorrow in Reeds Springs. Organizers encourage guests to bring a covered dish and enjoy an evening of Ozarks music and hospitality. Now, I did see a note from Jeanette and the Rock House that they are nearly sold out, so if you plan on attending, get your tickets quickly at the Rock House Center for the Arts.org, or you can email Jeanette at rockhouse41@gmail.com. Sure to be a good time. It's the Rock House Music Festival and Cookout tomorrow in Reeds Spring. And Show Me Poetry's Poetry Slam has a new day and venue. The Poetry Slam will occur now on the first Sunday of every month, 6:30 p.m., and the sign-ups are from 6 to 6:30. It's at Mother's Brewing Company in the Barrel Room. It's $5 to enter this slam poetry competition and $7 to get in and watch the competition. There's more information at showmepoetry.com. It's the Poetry Slam, the first Sunday of each month at the Barrel House in Mothers. The Ozarks lost a true champion in Meredith Cisco recently, and here with a remembrance from earlier this morning, it's KSMU's Michelle Skaliski.
Today at this time, we would have aired the next episode of These Ozarks Hills. Instead, we remember Meredith Cisco through her past stories, music, and a few of her many friends. Mary Alexander was one of those who shared a special friendship with Cisco. She remembers when they first met after Cisco performed at a Springfield Greene County Library branch, and soon after they became fast friends. They even recorded an album together called Front Porch.
For this album, Meredith drew some of her narration from her life growing up in Butterfield, Missouri, of the family congregating out on the front porch, sharing stories and songs. We traveled to various places performing Front Porch, sharing in song and stories. The farthest we went was to Dauphin Island.
I've sung this song, but I'll sing it again, of the place that I lived on the wild windy plains, in the month called April, county called Gray. And here's what all of the people there say. They say, so long, it's been good to know ya. So long, it's been good to know ya. So long, it's been good to know ya.
Alexander recalls a trip she took with her friend to Cisco's hometown of Butterfield to find many of the places in Cisco's early memories gone.
But what is still there is a magnificent water tower proclaiming Butterfield. And just beyond it is a very large field showcasing the most beautiful purple flowers. It was a splendid display of beauty and pride. After that, it was off to her family gravesite. She showed me where one day she would rest alongside her parents. It was a touching trip for both of us.
Cisco graduated from Cassville High School. She spent 20 years as an investigative journalist and environmental reporter for the West Plains Daily Quill, and it was there that she honed her storytelling skills, writing the gardening column Crosspatch, where she blended horticultural advice with sharp social commentary, according to her obituary. KSMU listeners benefited from Cisco's storytelling skills, like in this episode of These Ozarks Hills that aired in the summer.
And whether you're a reflective sort, a gardener, or a pagan, or just your wee self in a world of possibilities, it's time to find a cool spot, maybe by the creek, put a watermelon on ice, start a tiny fire just big enough for a couple of hot dogs and a few s'mores, and celebrate the bounty of the season. Maybe put a toe in the water, eat a peach, and reflect for just a minute on how incredibly lucky we are to be blessed with these Ozark Hills to live in. Gardens large and small where we can grow ourselves as well as our sustenance, and consciences clever enough to create our own world in our thoughts, where we can adopt the belief system we choose and believe whatever the heck we want, whether it's the highest of logic, the depth of history, or just downright weird. We're all human, we're all neighbors, and we're all in this tiny lifeboat of a world together.
Jennifer Moore, who once worked for KSMU and is now an editor for WGBH in Boston, knew Cisco most of her life. In fact, she was the subject of one of Cisco's These Ozarks Hills episodes as she prepared to leave for her new job on the East Coast. Cisco remembered when she first met Moore, who was a middle schooler in West Plains.
Back in the years when I was a journalist, a good 20 years ago and perhaps as much as 30, I happened to be asked to give a talk at a local middle school on Career Day about my job as a journalist. Well, I loved my job and everything about it, and I must have waxed eloquently that day about the honor and ethics and the life of a reporter and things like journalistic integrity and how it's one of the very few jobs actually protected by the Constitution. And I certainly mentioned the sheer joy of getting paid for being irrepressibly nosy, not to mention the thrill of tracking down an elusive story, or as Linda Ellerby put it, the challenge of finding out something you're not supposed to know about so you can run and tell everybody. It's a sobering thought that mere words could land so hard as to leave an indelible mark on some young person, and realizing that I had possibly and unintentionally persuaded this one to decide that my career was the very thing they were cut out for.
I'd never heard of a journalist before, but Meredith did not hold back. She talked about reporting from a gruesome crime scene. She talked about several dramatic examples and said how it was important and the coolest job in the world, and I was hooked. Over the years, Meredith became a maternal force in my life and always believed in me and never let me forget it, no matter where I went. It was a sobering thought that mere words could land so hard as to leave an indelible mark on some young person, and realizing that I had possibly and unintentionally persuaded this one to decide that my career was the very thing they were cut out for. I'd never heard of a journalist before, but Meredith did not hold back. She talked about reporting from a gruesome crime scene. She talked about several dramatic examples and said how it was important and the coolest job in the world, and I was hooked. Over the years, Meredith became a maternal force in my life and always believed in me and never let me forget it, no matter where I went. There are countless traditions for displaying grief and honoring the dead with a send-off, tearing one's clothing or building altars or sending them off into the sea in a flaming ship of glory. But here in the Ozarks, where both Meredith and I have deep roots, we tell stories. We tell stories about our ancestors and our childhoods and the moments and people who taught us and shaped who we have become. And I look forward to telling stories about Meredith because I know she forever shaped mine. So rest easy, dear Meredith, and thank you for everything.
Cisco was a talented musician and songwriter who left the Ozarks for California for a time to pursue a music career, but she returned. But she found nationwide fame when she had the chance to be a part of the soundtrack for the 2010 film Winter's Bone by Daniel Woodrell, starring Jennifer Lawrence. Her version of the Missouri Waltz was what viewers heard when the movie started.
Rest your head upon my breast while Mama hums a tune. The Sandman is calling when shadows are falling, while the soft breezes sigh as in days long gone by.
Cisco, who had battled heart problems for years, was able to travel to Washington, D.C. in 2023 to be part of the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. She talked to KSMU's Jess Belisle about the experience for an episode of These Ozarks Hills.
I know you just had a birthday, the big 80, right?
Yep.
What does this opportunity mean to you at this point in your life to be able to share Ozarks culture and ways of life like this with a national audience?
It's a combination of a long amount of studying and working and singing and being part of the Ozarks culture and having the years of experience.
Cisco bragged about others who performed at the festival, like Mark Ballou and Cindy Wolf.
Their harmonies were so clear, the musicianship was perfect, and it couldn't have been better. Now, and that was my big moment. I just thought, if we got people doing this for the Ozarks, then I can get old and move on my way and not have to worry about what's going to become in the future, because they're it. And I was just real tickled to see them show their stuff.
Cisco certainly touched many people through her music, her writing, her storytelling, and her friendship. Artist Catherine Fisher described her friend.
The 3 words I would use are wise, wonderful, and witty. One of the wonderful and wise things about Meredith was that she would respond to a disagreement calmly, with respect, and with her characteristic wit. I don't know anyone who could disarm a disagreement with such charm and have everyone laughing in a flash. She will be sorely missed. She was one of a kind. We will miss her always.
If you miss hearing Meredith Cisco's voice, all you have to do is go to ksmu.org and listen to archives of These Ozarks Hills. We'll leave you with a song by Meredith Cisco inspired by Mike Smith's show on KSMU, Seldom Heard Music. For KSMU News, I'm Michelle Skaliski.
Glory days, a wild, strange music, a forgotten rhyme, speaking to the heart without a word. Tonic to the spirit from another time, a song now seldom